So we hear the voices of virtual assistants on our phone all the time, but it can be hard to imagine that an actual person is attached to those voices. Today, we're talking to the women behind some of the most recognizable voices we've become so familiar with, like the original voice of iPhone's Siri.
Hi, this is the voice of Siri.
What's the weather like today?
Here's the weather for today. I found 13 restaurants match a good Chinese restaurant fairly close to New York, New York. The Angels were beaten by the Rangers yesterday. The final score was 3-1.
Do you love me?
I respect you.
Boundaries.
Yes, another voice we hear all the time, the text-to-speech voice on TikTok.
When you guys have been asking me if I'm the voice on TikTok.
Yes, I'm the TikTok text-to-speech girl. My name is Kat. I love seeing your TikToks.
How to make homemade burritos. First time skiing vlog. My dog is scared of water. Pav, your first time at Chipotle. Have you heard what a male koala sounds like? Doing my makeup underground. Proof that my cat is an actor.
You're probably sick of my voice. I'm sick of my voice.
Please welcome to the show the original voice of Siri, Susan Bennett, and Callaghan, the voice of TikTok's text-to-speech.
That was quite the round of applause.
It was, I think, because we all feel like we know them in a way.
Yeah.
Hey, Siri. Just kidding. Susan, when you, good to see you. Susan, when you originally recorded the voice for Siri, is this true? You didn't know it was for Siri. I want to know how it felt when you realized your voice was becoming used on millions of iPhones, and could you not sue?
I tried.
Okay, good call. Good.
But the recordings were done in 2005, and they were done for a company called Nuance that provides all of these types of voices, you know, please press 1 type of thing. And so I was told that I was just doing some generic phone messaging voices. Wow. And so 6 years later, when Siri appeared, I was quite horrified, actually.
Of course. Yes.
What? That's my voice? That's yikes.
Oh my
so
God.
yeah, it was a big surprise.
Wow. What types of things did they have you say during the recording for Siri? Because you have to say, I would think.
Like that Mission Impossible, remember that? And they make them read this.
Yes, the passport thing. Yeah. You have to say a bunch of stuff?
Well, no, it wasn't just a couple of things that I didn't have to read every different sound. I had to read 4 hours a day, 5 days a week for the month of July. And I had to read things that made no sense because they were created to get all of the sound combinations in the language. So things like, say, schist fresh issue today. Whoa. Militia oi hallucinate puckra okra ooze. Whoa. Yeah.
Wow.
I do believe I got a little brain damage from that.
They weren't even going to pick me to do that. I would still be working on it. But Kat, you were hesitant to reveal in the first place that you were actually behind the TikTok text-to-speech voice called Jessie. How come?
Well, once you tell people, Jeff, you can't untell them. So there's that. And also, like, honestly, when my voice of Jessie first went on the platform, she's very happy. And some people were really taken aback. I mean, a lot of these speech-to-text or text-to-speech options were very monotone before this, right? As Susan knows very well. And I didn't do that. It was a very happy, peppy situation. And so when people saw it and heard it on TikTok, some people didn't like it, and I thought, well, maybe it'll just go away then. Maybe they're going to, like, delete it from the platform. But it didn't happen, and people used it more and more, so I thought, okay, maybe they don't hate me, so I'll tell them.
I got to tell you, it's kind of weird talking to you.
It's like a robot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I love it.
What's it like getting on TikTok and hearing your voice, kind of like we're surprised right now, and so many different people use it for their videos?
Yeah, I love freaking people out right now. It's so much fun. Yeah, you know, it's cool. I love that people choose to use it. I do, because it's resonating with people. In some way, I don't know what it is, but it's the most used option on there, which means something. And to me, it probably means that people like that uplifting voice.
Yeah.
So every time I see someone use it, I'm happy. If you want to use it on your platform, please use my voice. I love it.
I think it's so cool.
It is, and it's accessible, too.
Yes, and you're like part of like pop culture. It's unbelievable. Okay, Susan, now I have to ask you this. You are, which is awesome, a former backup singer for Burt Bacharach.
Ooh.
May he rest in peace. And have done voiceovers and jingles for other companies. How did Siri change your career?
Well, basically, I just became an AI person after that. As I was saying, you know, we humans like to put people in boxes. And if you do a certain thing and become known as a certain thing, that ends up being your destiny. But I did kind of turn it into another career because I do a lot of speaker events, and I talk about the whole Siri, the history and how the recordings were done. And since Siri was the first one, it was pretty unique. And the original voice, mine was the original voice, was kind of cool at the very beginning because she was kind of snarky.
Yeah.
Siri, you would ask Siri questions and she would tell you what she thought.
What's that? It's like you're the weakest link kind of woman. There was a little snark there.
Well,
Absolutely.
I want to stick with the voices conversation because I have to ask you, Kat, have you ever used the Jessie voice in public just to get a reaction? Like, that's all I would do. I wouldn't even be on the show right now. That's what I'd be doing right now.
Yes. Like I said, I love freaking people out about it. I was out with some girlfriends for dinner once, and they were like, we were just having fun. I think I was already one drink in, not gonna lie. And then they were like, oh, do the voice. And the server came back, and I started to order my meal like this. And it was hilarious because the server did not look like they were having a fun time at first. And then they're like, wait a minute. And I made them smile. So that made me smile.
I like it. It's
What
like
a gift.
universal. I think that's
What a
great.
gift.
Susan, what has been the craziest reaction you've gotten from people when they realize you are the voice of Siri? It's somewhat intimate, your relationship with Siri, right? Like, what did they...
Yes, and I used to get so many emails and texts from people just saying, oh, I love you. I talk to you all the time.
Creepy.
I mean, well, the feeling's not mutual. No.
I don't know you.
It's kind of strange, but people still, like a little boy came up for Halloween and he said, someone said that you're Siri. And I said, yes, I am. And he said, you don't sound like Siri. And I said, how about now?
Whoa.
That's
And then he went,
crazy.
That is crazy. Can I ask a question? Have you two ever met in person?
Just now.
No, just now. We were just
meeting
talking.
now.
Yeah, we were just talking to one another right before we went on, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know how many times I've talked about Susan Bennett, especially recently with my reveal, people bring up, and Siri's a real person. I'm like, I know. Her name is Susan Bennett.
Good for you guys. That's great. That's great. Kat, have you had any crazy reactions like that waiter? I would have been freaked out.
Yeah, actually, more recently, I was at the mall. And I was getting popcorn from a popcorn kiosk and random. But then there was a guy ahead of me in line and I was talking to someone and he turned around. He's like, are you Voice of Cat? And it wasn't my name. It was just Voice of Cat, which is my username. And I was like, oh, yeah. And he just, everybody, the voice of TikTok, give her free popcorn. I'm like, I don't need free popcorn. I'm good. I'm not going to leave.
I'm going to take the free popcorn.
It's because we all know you. I've never seen our comments light up this fast because everybody has a Siri or a cat TikTok story. In fact, one of our viewers, Sherry Darden, wrote in, I have cursed Siri at times. She always tells me, that wasn't nice. Can you do that, Susan, in your voice, in your that wasn't nice Siri voice?
Well, what I can say is be careful what you say to Siri because she knows where you live.
Yo!
I see a horror movie.
I kind of do too. When she broke into that last one, I was like, that's creepy.
Like the Winnie the Pooh, it would be seriously?
Yes.
Murder?
Well, that's my handle. That's Seriously Susan.
How cute is that? I'm very into this.
Susan, you
So
better
she's
write.
already thought of it.
Yeah, you better write yourself some horror film because we would all show up to the theaters to see that.
Oh,
Free
yes.
popcorn.
Please hire me. Yes,
Heck
I'm
yes.
for hire.
Heck yes.
Susan and Kat, thank you so much for joining us today. What a treat. DBL Nation, Susan is available for all types of voiceover work through the Vox agency, and Kat Callaghan is available on Cameo for personalized videos.
Good
How
idea.
fun is that? We'll be right back.
So
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.